I am here talking to Tosha Wilson, who was born and raised in Evanston and works in Evanston now and has family in Evanston. And she was on a trip that Dear Evanston took to Montgomery, Alabama last September called The Uncomfortable Journey. She just started on June the 25th a group on Facebook called Boosting Black Business. And I saw it and I joined it. And I thought that it was the kind of effort that should really be widely known about. And given the current situation in this country, I think there are a lot of people who are sort of suddenly recognizing, and I'm talking about white people, who are suddenly realizing that they really need to do things to support the Black community, communities of color, business, reparations, all those kinds of things. So I wanted to talk to Tosha today about what exactly Boosting Black Business is. So just tell me a little bit about the group, why you started it, and why you started it now.
Well, as you know, I have a low tolerance for like the talk. And so it was just the most practical way to get people together to support startup businesses. I don't believe that the Small Business Association or some large bank or even a local bank should always be in charge of the success of any business, let alone Black businesses. So as you also know, is that last year, my cousin and I pushed forward our business idea for the Laundry Cafe. And just to know that we are capable and willing and able to push forward for our community, but yet we always have to sit around and kind of wait for the establishments to say it's okay. And I'm just trying to figure out, why can't the people say it's okay? And why can't the people say, hey, for $20 in a collective effort, minimally $20, I think we all waste $20 on something. So if we do that once a month for one business, why can't we push forward these businesses? Like, why do we have to wait?
Who did you start it with? Is it just you, or do you have a group of people?
Well, it was just an idea I had. I have like 7,000 that shoot through my head every day. And my friend Tiffany Holmes and my cousin Tamika are kind of like my sounding boards. And so I just sounded the idea and they're like, why not? And like my other friends, whether it's Anjali Daly or Amanda Wright, no matter what I say to them, they're like, go for it. It's just, are you willing to say, hey, the highlighted business that we've put forward, and again, I can't support, things that just will not manifest itself, small, we got to think bigger. So if we have a great idea, why can't we say, hey, as a group, we will support it? And so earlier I thought of the trunk party analogy. I don't know where it came from, but this is the trunk party for the business. So the business may not succeed, but it may be the best thing that ever happened to the world. So we put everything in the trunk and we send off that kid to college and hope they make it, but we don't judge them if they don't, or we don't, when they come back, you don't demand your money back and say, hey, you flunked out of college. So I just feel like it's just support on a basic level to get things done without having to fish through all the red tape that is totally unnecessary.
So, okay, so we'll get back to sort of the details of the group and how it works. But okay, is there a reason that you started it now? Because given everything that's going on right now with this sort of extra attention to, and slavery and Jim Crow and all these things that are coming to the fore right now, was that the reason you thought of it now, or why now?
No, why not now is pretty much my answer. But every discussion that's been had in the last 2 weeks, 2 years, 20 years, my father and our family have discussed this for decades. So I'm actually tired of the discussion. So because people are talking about it is not why I started it, but in real terms, it's annoying. It's just annoying to constantly hear it. And then I think, well, how can it happen? Like, how can we make it happen? And why not say, hey, I'm going to take 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people on the same agenda and make it happen. But if we talk about it, we could talk about buying Black, we could talk about supporting Black. But my experience is it's always talk. There's always this level of emotional energy. And then once it comes down, we settle back in, and then boom, it happens again. And then we're here. So I remember 1992 sitting with my mom while my sister was at Camp Timberley and Rodney King is getting beat in the streets, and we watched it. Then we watch it again, you know, a couple months ago, and we will watch it again, you know, again. In the meantime, we could be angry about it or we could do something about it. We can do both. I don't, you know, you could be angry about it, but what is it that we can do now to get it going? And if this is the easiest way to get it done, and until someone says this is just not, this just can't work, I'm smart enough to receive that information and stop. But I don't believe that. Right now, I think it can work.
So let's talk about exactly what it is. You started it on the 25th. You have how many members in just like a few days you got?
Total inside is like 1,200, and I think 3,000 are queued thanks to people like you and all my other friends who are kind of inviting.
You want to fund Black startups through this group. So take it from there and explain exactly how it works.
Okay, so if you take a business like the one Jackie and I are pushing through, we have a crowdfunding page where we've done the work. We've graduated from Small Business Academy, Being Sunshine. We've talked to our community members. We've gotten the support, but we just need that one boost from a collective effort to say, we got you. So we've done the work, and now we just need people to see it, bring attention to it, say, hey, I like this idea, and you put money into that crowdfunding account that already exists. So for example, when I had to do GoFundMe, I had to show the EIN number, the EIN number, our IDs. I had to scan in our IDs, our social security number. So there is a process to when you say, I'm starting a business, and those companies vet you to make sure, okay, you're doing the work. And so because we've done the work, we just need the attention and then the support. So I said, why not do this for one business a month? You know, I don't know these people personally, but I have gone online and I'm researching, and I found some great, like super, super great businesses that are just sitting there and being ignored. And why not highlight them, have my friends, family, and their friends and family join in, give a minimum of $20. So even if it's 1,000 of us, still have boosted that one business $20,000 just on the minimum. So like me, I can give 50, I can give $100. Then that will be my effort. But basic numbers, just 20 times 1,000, $20,000. So it's just literally just basic, simple practicality on my part. And there was nothing special about it. It's just how my brain works and how I think it needs to get done.
I know you want to start this. You're collecting members of your group.
Yes.
And each of them is committing to $20 at least a month. And on July the 20th, you're going to come up with your first business that you're going to ask the people in the group to donate to. And those people are going to donate directly to that business's crowdfunding source. So it's no money's coming through you. You're just going to say, this is our chosen business. Here's why we chose it. Now you need to donate your $20 for this month into that crowdfunding.
That's it. Like, we're not touching money. There's no money. If someone comes to your inbox and say, hey, I'm the owner of the company, can you send me money? None of that is acceptable. There's a crowdfunding source. I went to different crowdfunding pages, tried to find the most recent startup companies that have been pushing hard, working hard, having articles written about them, doing, you know, short films about their ideas, and they've done the work. They have the crowdfunding source. I'm going to share the crowdfunding source, and the money goes directly to them.
And then you would get back to the group to say, yay, they made their goal and we helped make their goal.
Yes. And you'll be able to see it yourself because it's an active crowdfunding, so it's public. So you will be able to see the numbers grow. I'll highlight why they're being highlighted. I'll say, you know, what their expertise is, what they're pushing for, whatever their story is, they will have that story. And luckily, I have a great friend from, her name's Jennifer from Bond Creative, who's going to help, you know, push through that idea for each group to highlight what's important about their mission. And I started with Chicago area because, I mean, Chicago's home. I'm from Evanston, as you know, but you know, the E for everything. But why not home first? We support home, and then we support people. I have lists from Philadelphia and Columbus, Ohio, and North Providence, Rhode Island, Chicago. You know, it's everywhere, and people are just needing help.
What kind of businesses have you come across in your research?
Um, you know, farming businesses, like people who want to produce their own food. I have tea companies, syntax companies. Um, I found a brewing company, a Black-owned brewing company, and they're in Philadelphia, but COVID kind of slowed them down. And so I'm reaching out to these people. I'm kind of stalking them, Nina.
Yeah.
And I found them on their YouTube pages. And these people, you could tell the passion behind what they want to do. And we have to like wait on systems to get them to where they want to go in order to build some sort of financial wealth with their families. I think that's crazy.
Why didn't you start with your own startup? Why didn't you start asking people to crowdfund your own?
Well, first of all,
I mean, that's out there.
yeah, well, Tiffany got on me and she says you can always help other people, but you need to always help yourself. So TLC will be on the list. It may be second or third before we go to like the nation, but I think as women, and I know I have this issue where we want to push everyone else forward, and you kind of feel bad that you would self-promote. Yeah. So there will be self-promotion, but I want you to know that it was someone pushed me to self-promote. We will highlight the Laundry Cafe. It's just won't be first.
Got it. I mean, I think that's important because I think the Laundry Cafe, I think there are a lot of people in Evanston who think it's a really great idea, who, you know, who really see the need for it in the Fifth Ward, and so it's very valuable. And of course, and you should absolutely be pushing it as well. What criteria will you build, you know, will you base your monthly choice on?
Well, in my stalking, I have, you know, looked up, you know, whether or not they're registered with their states. Because I feel like when you take that step, you're dead serious about the things that you want. I do also know that some people want to start business, but they don't take the necessary steps to get it. They just want the money and then the dream. And what I've learned just in life and also being reinforced in Sunshine is that there's a lot of work to do. And you can tell who's put in the work versus who just has like a dream.
Fantasy, right.
Yeah. And you know, and it's okay to be a dreamer, but it's also not okay for me to put myself in a position to say, hey, give these people $50,000, give these people $200,000, and then say, well, I really don't know what they were doing. You know, we just gave them $200,000 and they go and buy a house. Then that would be failure on my part, and I wouldn't be able to handle that. I am checking for, you know, have they gone to Small Business Academy? Not everybody will, but do you have the wherewithal to make sure you understand your books? You know, how are you, you know, marketing yourself? You know, things like that. And that even comes to me. Like, yeah, you know, did you write the business plan? Like things that we've done, or things that you need to get started on.
Right.
Because it's important. It's important when you walk into the bank and you have that business plan, you have the support, and they're still like, no.
So talk about that a little bit, because I know that when you started the Laundry Cafe idea, you actually went to a bank and got turned down. So you've had that experience, which I'm sure is part of what made you think about going straight to the people.
Yes. I mean, really, because you think, you know, like we've talked about this on our trip to Alabama, where you're raised and you do everything right. You do everything you're supposed to do. And whether it's having a great credit score, having a job that pays well, paying all your bills, doing the business plan, the whole list that comes with that. And then people look at you and they can say, well, no, this is not what we want. Even though the community could be like, I need this bad, we need this bad, there's nothing here. But the banks can literally just say, I'm not with it. We're not with it right now. Maybe if you do this, you can come back and we'll run your credit again, and then we'll see. But I feel if we come with $50,000 and that person needs 100, if they come with that, the banks might take them more seriously to say, hey, these people have raised 200,000 from their own communities and people who believe in their dream. Who are we to not back it? So I just feel like it gives that extra level of leverage to say, I'm not just here dreaming. I'm dead serious about the things that I want, and I'm dead serious about the things that we want in our community. So the Laundry Cafe is great, but Jackie and I have the capacity to go and get a turnkey in Deerfield or Highland Park where all these laundromats were open, but we want this for Evanston. We want this for the 5th Ward. We want this for our people because our people have given us so much, but yet we're still fighting for what? Approval?
Do you feel like, talk a little bit about how race plays into it in terms of, getting a loan from a bank,
There are many what ifs. Many. I've experienced more discrimination being a woman than I ever have been being Black, and that's just another topic in itself. But it could be. But at the same time, I don't know. But historically, we know we have issues. Yeah. And that is why I kind of want to say, if you support it, you'll back it. And I don't have to know whether or not you supported me because I was Black or whether or not you didn't, because you've said, hey, I'm here with you. I got you. And you don't need to go to the establishment to say, please, may I, have a corner on a block that I've walked for the last 42 years. Right. So I don't know. It's possible, but how would I ever know that?
You're looking at people both in the Black community and the broader community to get involved in this. Do you think at all that it's more on white people at this point to really put their money where their mouth is?
If you say you're an ally or supporter, I'm not quite sure what I've seen co-conspirator. I like that one. So I've seen the words, and what I know about home is that, when it came to me going to college, I had people right there writing checks to make sure my books and everything were paid for. And these were, my white friends, and I consider them family. They were there for me. So I know that that's possible. I know that this is not something new for the folks that I know, but it is kind of new to the rest of the world. So if those people who haven't been co-conspirators for the last 100 years, the way my folks have, it's time to get on board and just try to see that the bigger picture is all of this is linked, whether it's education, whether it's crime, whether it's, how you live in your community and the safety of your own children. Everything is basic understanding. We all need food, shelter, and all the hierarchy of needs and all that stuff that we talk about, but we need to support each other. And the fact is, Black America has supported white businesses forever. We were the official white business, so I do believe that we have to collectively think about how to push forward and do right for one another. And if you don't understand the history of America, and if you don't understand like the just straight brutality of it on many forms, it's just time to get on board and work with it in the most simplest way possible. And this was just my idea for the simplicity.
If you're talking to the white community about supporting Black business, in a way, it's an individual way of paying some type of reparation. Like we talk about the Evanston Reparation Initiative, which is going to focus first on housing. And that's a governmental, municipal reparations, which people can also put money towards, individuals can. But this is also a way of saying, I owe something. And this is an easy way to support.
Yeah, and that would be up to that individual person to say what they want to do.
Right.
But when it comes to like reparations in Evanston, I know that it's a great idea. And I know that there's some debate about, well, why housing? This is not reparations. This is a housing program, or whatever the debate is. This is the chance to say, okay, I will contribute to that, but I also want to control how I repair a community. So if we choose a business and we highlight it, and they have now contributed to that particular repair of whatever block of whatever city in America. So there's some sort of control in this, reparations kind of way of thinking.
Yeah, a lot of the time what I say to people, like particularly white people, when we talk about reparations and they say, well, I want to know exactly what my money's going to. And my answer is always, it's not up to us where the money's going to. It's up to us to give the money and give the support. And it's up to the people who have been harmed to make a decision about where our money is going to go, because they know.
It just comes down to, if you have someone who's homeless and living on the street, I can't give them $20, $10, $5 of my money and then say, what are you going to do with it?
Correct.
Do I know that some people might go out and buy drugs? As my father always says, that part is not your problem, because if it's in you to give, then that's it. The rest is not going to sit on your soul. Right. What they decide to do with the money is part of their soul searching, not yours. There's just a lot of ways to do this. I just feel like maybe 10,000 would be a sweet number. And, but I still feel like 1,000, 2,000 strong, we can get something done. I'm not trying to, make heaven for everyone, but I am trying to put like a dent in a system that is, it's just it has this terribly wrapped up in nonsense. So like Black communities, I had grocery stores that it may not have been Black owned, but right there at Church and Dodge, there was a Black owned currency exchange. Now C&W's is there, thank God. But, barbershops, everything was like a mecca of whatever we needed was right there in the community. And now I have to go where?
Before desegregation, as important as integrating the community is, the way it was done was not very effective. It was very damaging to the Black community, because the desegregation kind of went one way.
Yeah.
And messed up the whole of the Fifth Ward, which was a village, as your dad and a lot of people call it.
It was the best village ever. And now it's a village I ride through every day, and sometimes I don't recognize it. But if I could do my part to just keep a piece of the village alive, then that'll be my part. And if I could help somebody else keep a part of their village alive, then that is my goal. So if I only get 12 businesses funded, one a month for the next year, then that's all I want to do. I know that without my group of people throughout my life, white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, no matter what, I had the tools that I needed to get to where I am. And I'm still not at the top. But just because my village was solid with everyone, why can't a village in Facebook, Facebook land, help create other villages? Once again, I'm back to why not?
If you have 2,000 people each giving $20 to your July 20th business,
that should be $40,000.
What if their goal is only $20,000?
I thought about that, and I also thought about who cares. And I don't know if that's the right answer, but if in that month they ask for $20,000 and we happen to get them 40,000, I feel like that would push me to the point where now I need to make this happen, not only for myself, but for all these people who sat here and said, I'm gonna look out for you. And it's not gonna hurt me if I give $20, I'm gonna live. But that might motivate to the next level. Like sometimes you get so down on trying to start a business that you need people to say, I got you. And then that just pushes you to keep going and keep going and keep going. So I think if we overfund them, I'm okay with that. I'm okay, because I feel like on the individual level, we're not really losing, but they can win.
I mean, so what is your ask to, people who will see this interview on Dear Evanston? What do you ask of them?
I'm asking that the Black business that is highlighted, with your back, that I am diligently looking into people who are serious about their craft and they need a boost. They need some sort of leverage. And if we can give $20, if we can give $30 or $40, whatever we commit that for each month, to boost these Black businesses in the most simplest form possible. Like, we just want to boost the Black businesses. So the first one I think you all will be delighted with.
Oh, you started already?
I have it. I'm excited about it. I know it's 19 days away, but I am excited about it. And the women who are involved in this, I'm so like want this to happen for them.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, you are part of my village, and the people who have reached out just to share my little practical way of thinking is what's important to me. And I'm thankful for Evanston. I'm thankful for my friends and family. And let's do it. Let's just get her done and stop talking. I can't.
Yeah.
No talk.